It's Friday night. You've made it through the week. You're on the couch, phone in hand, half watching, half scrolling. Then a headline stops you cold. How much do you need to retire comfortably? Your stomach tightens. You click. You read the number. Suddenly the world feels smaller. The numbers in your bank account don't match the ones on the screen. Now, let me introduce you to two people. Marcus and Tyler. Both are 58. Both live in Chicago. Both make around $80,000 a year. On the outside, Marcus looks comfortable. He drives a new SUV. His house has a perfect lawn. He posts vacations on Instagram. But behind the scenes, he's stressed. Credit card balances, bills stacking up. Retirement feels like a distant dream. Tyler looks ordinary. No flashy cars, no social media posts. But he has something Marcus doesn't. A clear plan. Savings tracked. A mortgage nearly paid off. Every dollar accounted for. Tyler sleeps easy at night. Here's the truth. Most retirement advice tricks you. It throws numbers at you. Averages, benchmarks, multiples of salary. 8 times your salary by age 60. 10 times by 67. Sounds scary. Sounds precise. But it's not about you. The problem? You compare yourself to someone else's math. A composite person that doesn't exist. Now, I want you to do something. Right here, right now. Drop your age in the comments. Then tell me, how do you really feel about retirement? Not what you think you should feel. The truth. Be honest. If you've been worrying about retirement, comment me. Because that feeling you're having right now, it's common. It's normal. And it's about to become the first step toward clarity. Now let's talk about the numbers. You've probably seen headlines. The average American has $271,000 saved for retirement. Sounds low, right? But here's the catch. That number is almost meaningless for most people. Why? Because averages can lie. Imagine 9 people sitting in a coffee shop. All normal, all doing their best. Now imagine Elon Musk walks in, orders a latte, sits down. Suddenly, the average net worth of everyone in that coffee shop skyrockets. Nothing changed for the 9 ordinary people. The average just looks huge. That's what happens in retirement statistics. A small number of very wealthy households pull the average way up. Everyone else feels like they are behind. And that feeling is unnecessary. The number that actually matters is the median. The person in the middle of the pack. For Americans aged 55 to 64, the median retirement account is around $95,600, much lower than the headline average. And the Federal Reserve tells the same story. Total net worth, including homes and all savings, averages over $1.5 million. But the median is far lower. It's that gap that causes anxiety. Financial content loves to show scary numbers. 8 times your salary by 60, 10 times by 67. If you make $80,000 a year, that's $640,000. 800,000 by 67. Sounds precise, sounds urgent, but it's not about you. These benchmarks assume a composite person, not someone living your life, not someone with your house, your mortgage, or your Social Security plan. Here's a truth you need to hear. Comparing yourself to a billionaire's shadow adds $0 to your account. It only makes you anxious. If this part hit a little too close to home, comment, "Go." Because realizing the truth about averages and medians is the first step. The first step toward a plan that actually fits your life, not a plan built for someone else. Once you see the real numbers, you start thinking differently. And that changes everything about how you approach retirement. Let's look at a real example. Meet David. He's 62. Worked 30 years in logistics. Saved diligently. Maxed out his 401k most years. By retirement, his net worth reads $1,200,000. Sounds like success, right? But let's break it down. Half of that money, $600,000, is in his house. Equity in the home he lives in. It doesn't pay for groceries. It doesn't cover insurance. It's not cash he can spend monthly. The other half, $600,000, is in his traditional 401k, pre-tax. Every withdrawal comes with a tax bill. David wants $50,000 to cover living expenses. At 22% federal tax, $11,000 is gone before he sees a dollar. $39,000 left in today's dollars. Now consider inflation, 3% per year. In 5 years, that $39,000 buys even less, around $33,000. David's million-dollar account isn't as powerful as it seems. This is the pre-tax illusion. It hides in nearly every retirement account, even for people doing everything right. Here's what matters. Your net worth statement isn't the real story. What counts is cash flow. How much money shows up reliably each month? David's example is a warning. You could feel wealthy, but still have a shaky floor. His house-rich, cash flow uncertain situation is common. And it's not just about taxes. Market volatility, inflation, unexpected expenses, they all erode your comfort. But here's the shift in thinking. You don't need to chase $1 million to retire comfortably. You need to understand your real monthly needs and how much guaranteed income you have from Social Security, pensions, or annuities. When you see it this way, the problem stops being abstract. It becomes a math problem you can solve, one with a clear number, not a vague million-dollar target. And if you've ever thought your account balance alone decides your retirement, this is the wake-up call. Now let's get practical. You've seen how averages and net worth can mislead. You've seen how pre-tax accounts and home equity can hide the truth. Here's the step that changes everything. Track your real monthly expenses. Not what you think you spend, not what you wish you spent. The real number. Sarah and her husband did this. They thought groceries cost $400 a month. After tracking 90 days of every purchase, groceries, lunches, deliveries, coffee, the number came out at $947, more than double what they expected. This is normal. Memory forgets the small things. Tuesday lunches, birthday dinners, extra snacks. They add up. Now subtract your guaranteed income, Social Security, pensions, annuities, any money that shows up reliably each month. The result is your income gap. Let's say your real monthly expenses are $6,000. You have $3,500 coming from guaranteed sources. Your income gap is $2,500. That is the only number your investment portfolio actually needs to cover. Not 8 times your salary, not $1 million. Just the number that matters for your life. Use the 4% rule to translate this into a portfolio target. Roughly, to generate $2,500 a month, you need around $750,000 in invested assets. Notice how different this feels. You now have a real target, one tied to your life, one you can act on. If your income gap is smaller than you feared, you may already be closer than you think. If it's bigger, now you know exactly what to solve for. And here's the best part. With clarity comes options. You can work one more year. Adjust spending in a category. Look at a Roth conversion. You're no longer guessing. You're in control. Once you see the income gap, retirement stops being a vague fear. It becomes a concrete plan. A number you can fix. Here's the final shift in thinking. Retirement readiness is not about hitting $1 million. It's not about 8 times your salary. It's not about comparing yourself to headlines or your neighbors. What matters is your real monthly cash flow. Guaranteed income from Social Security, pensions, or annuities, plus what your portfolio can responsibly generate. If that number covers your real-life expenses, you are ready. If it doesn't, now you know exactly what to fix. And that is empowering. Think about Marcus and Tyler again. Marcus was house-rich but cash flow poor. Tyler tracked his spending, calculated his income gap, and planned. He sleeps better at night. He controls his future. And so can you. The goal is clarity. The goal is control. Not fear, not comparison. Remember, small adjustments add up. One extra year of work, a spending tweak here or there, a strategic Roth conversion. Every action brings you closer to peace of mind. Now, here's something I want you to do. Think about the last few months of statements you've looked at. What surprised you the most? Was it a subscription you forgot about? A recurring charge? A little expense that added up? Drop it in the comments. Comment "plan." Not to judge, just to see it in print, and to realize you can control it. Here's the takeaway. Stop measuring yourself against averages or millionaire benchmarks. Stop letting headlines create anxiety. Focus on your real monthly number. Focus on your income gap. Focus on cash flow. Because when you do, retirement stops being a scary number. It becomes a plan, a solvable problem, a life you can actually enjoy. Clarity replaces fear. Action replaces anxiety. And for the first time, you can see retirement not as a looming crisis, but as a series of choices you can make. That's the standard you should measure yourself against. Not someone else's net worth, not an arbitrary benchmark. Your own monthly cash flow. That is the real equation for peace of mind in retirement.